Tape marker, Wicked review, guys. Get right to it. Action.
Something has changed within me.
She doesn't give a twink when anyone thinks.
Something is not the same.
Of course she does. She just pretends not to.
What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan680.
I'm Angela Bacalian.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. This is our Sunday review. Let's get right to it. I don't think we've ever had a screener on a Sunday.
No,
but,
our first.
But we need more of them after watching this movie. But let's get right to it. Angela, what are we talking about today with pure excitement? What are we talking about today?
This has been like my number one anticipated movie for this whole year.
Yeah.
It's finally here. We are reviewing Wicked.
Wicked, guys, part one.
Part one.
Wicked Part 1, guys, directed by John M. Chu, is the highly anticipated adaptation of the beloved musical based on Gregory Magriel's novel. The film serves a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, exploring the untold story of Elphaba, the misunderstood young woman who becomes the Wicked Witch of the West, and Galinda, the future Good Witch. Cynthia Erivo stars as Elphaba, with Ariana Grande portrays Galinda. The cast also includes Michelle Yeoh as Madame Morrible, Jonathan Bailey as Piero, and Jeff Goldblum as the Wizard of Oz. This cinematic event is divided into two parts, with the first installment releasing on November 27, 2024, and the second following in, which is about a year from now, 2025. The movie retains its iconic musical elements, with music and lyrics by Stephen Schwartz, ensuring a grand, immersive experience for fans and newcomers alike. Now, without further ado, Angela, let's get right to it. This is our full review, guys. So we're going to be talking about a few stuff here. We won't mention too much spoilers, but if you have seen the musical, it's really hard to not. If you've seen the musical, you're pretty much seeing the musical into life and everything. So it's not spoilers, right? We're not going to, but what we are not going to mention are a few cameos that we cannot mention because I feel like that we want to have the same experience we had, very surprisingly, but even though we knew that they were kind of almost going to be there, but needless to say, we won't mention them. Even if you put on comments down below, we still won't mention them. But let's go, Angela. What did you think of this Wicked movie Part 1? High expectations, by the way, right?
Well, I didn't want to walk into it with high expectations because I just feel like every time we hype up a movie, we kind of get disappointed in a certain way. I know you had a couple movies this year that were the exact same way, like Joker, the second one, Strangers Chapter 1. I know you had really high expectations, and then we just walked away. Unfortunately, you didn't meet that. But so I really didn't want to prop anything up too high on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. But I absolutely love the play. We've seen it a few times. It's amazing. Every time it comes to San Antonio, I have to see it. It's great. And I was very curious to see how this would be in comparison to the musical. I wanted to see if they're going to change anything, if it's going to be like a scene for scene kind of thing. Yeah. I was very curious to see how the songs were going to be sung, if they're going to change a little bit. So I was just really more questioning. Like, I really wanted John M. Chu to approach this with not making too many changes, because I feel like, I wanted to keep kind of true to the play because it's a very, very good story that's told. The music is fantastic. So I was a little apprehensive, but I will say, walking out of this theater, I was not disappointed. This blew me out of the water.
Yeah, it did.
It was so fantastic, like the world that was created, because you can only do so much on a stage, right?
And to put that into perspective, the comment I made, I saw Wicked. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I apologize if I offend anybody here, but I fell asleep probably like 20 minutes in the Wicked musical, but yeah, I fell asleep and then at the very end of the musical, what did I tell you? I was like, it'd be great if this was actually a movie, and that was years ago when we were early 20s, we were dating, and I was like, this would be like the best. This will be amazing if we get to see it in a movie aspect because of I see this passion behind it. Again, watching it, I saw how much inspiration and so much like creativity they can really do when it comes to a Broadway. There's only so much you could do on the Broadway stage and all that stuff.
And not to say that it's not great.
Yeah, no, it's great.
The production for all the Broadway and on the North American tour is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's so
like
good.
I love the Lion King. I love the Beetlejuice musical. So I'm just not a big Broadway fan, but I'll still go see it because especially for the pop culture and everything, I'll still go see it. But needless to say, going back to what the comment I said, I was like, Angela, they should really make this into a movie. The sky's the limit when you make it into a movie because the colors,
Wizard of Oz world
the
is
CGI.
awesome.
I mean,
It's
everything is
amazing.
just But go back and I'm sorry for interrupting you, but keep. But the whole Oz, I
Yes.
know Emerald City looks spectacular.
That was my favorite. That they really made Emerald City look so gorgeous. I just every shot the Shiz University, Emerald City, all the places that they have. They even touch on in the beginning when they first introduced Glinda or Glinda. The Munchkin Land,
Yes,
Munchkin Town.
that was really cool.
That was really cool.
Brought me back to the Wizard of Oz ages. Yeah,
and it's
I loved
just
it.
really cool the
Loved
world that was created and all. It was just so beautiful and colorful. I just cannot talk enough good things about that. And not just that, it also extends to not just the music, but the costume design, the production sets. All of it was just so well thought out of. It was just executed so beautifully.
And
I couldn't, believe that. I mean, I could, but I just can't believe that we got so fortunate to have very, very good dedication and thoughtfulness to bringing this to life. It was done very well.
Well, John Chu, I mean, he's fantastic director. He did In the Heights, which it came out. Again, we go back to where the In the Heights didn't make that much money, but it was during.
Still sad about that because it deserves so much more. It does.
It was just during the form process where they were releasing the movies the same time. It was right after COVID, so they were releasing movies the same time on IMAX. So regardless, though, I still enjoyed that. In the Heights is beautiful film. I really enjoyed that film a lot. But again, though, if you're not into musicals, it's just very tough. But I gotta admit, though. Not the world. I feel like that the world. Again, I'm just saying, broad term here, but when we talk about musicals, we talk about musicals that really have a ground shaking point to where they could really establish. Like if someone like me, I didn't like musicals, I feel like this movie can get you sucked into the world of musicals because how good it is and how straightforward story it is. And I understand after watching part one, I understand why they made it into two parts because they wanted to give development to Elphaba, to Galinda. They wanted to give more development to the whole Oz world, like the Oz. They wanted to give development to Emerald City. They wanted to give development really for the whole world. Yeah, and I understand that now after seeing it. Yeah,
play is close to 4 hours. So it makes sense that they made it so long because again, if you start cutting things out or changing things, I mean, will people who are very big fans of the play appreciate that? Will they be upset about it? Because if there were some songs that were cut, I'd be a little mad because those are very good songs. Which song do you cut? They all tie into the plot some way or another.
And that first opening scene we get is just one of my favorite songs, so great. It gets you in tune to what we're expecting out of the movie. Mm-hmm. It gets you into tune exactly what's gonna come about for the whole film, and it keeps that momentum going. It keeps that tone going. It keeps that pacing going. It's so grand. It's so great.
And it's not too
Galinda.
sloppy.
Oh my God, Ariana Grande. I can't talk enough great things about her. She is fantastic. She's beautiful. She's amazing in this whole role.
She was great as Galinda. She was her character, like her portrayal of the character was so spot on.
Yes,
it was done so well.
Yeah,
I was a little nervous about how Ariana Grande and
not the singing part though, right?
No, it was more so the chemistry between the two leads. How they're going to do it is it believable?
Same here. I was the same way.
When they sing together, because they sing several songs, as a duet.
Yeah.
How are they going to do? Are they going to harmonize as well? So I was just a little bit curious to see how that was going to go. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think they did a great job on really doing the harmonizing one another and everything, and even more so. I didn't know Ariana Grande could go as high and as beautiful as the original did.
She has a huge range. I knew she was gonna kill it as Galinda.
For me, it was
Galinda
the acting.
Has those high acts.
For me, it was the acting.
It was the acting.
Because again, I don't think I've seen her do any besides Nickelodeon, right? I mean, come on, but that's regardless though. I mean, I'm not saying she's not an actress, but because it's been such a long time, and not to say she doesn't act. It's just the fact that she hasn't had an acting role in so many years.
And this is a major
production.
I feel also has a lot more pressure because you have such a fan base already. Mm-hmm. You people expect certain things out of a movie.
Yes.
You don't want to disappoint.
Oh
them.
Yeah, they do.
So
no, they don't. Star Wars fans.
You don't want to disappoint people. So like I get there was like added pressure that it wasn't just a lead performance. It's a lead performance for Wicked. She's Glinda. You know, she has a big role and shoes to fill. But again, they're so fantastic, amazing. Both of them together. The rest of the cast, I gotta say,
the only one we were worried about before you go into the rest of the cast, though, I want to touch up on. The only one we were really worried about was Cynthia Erivo, just because
I haven't heard her sing.
Yeah, like I never heard her sing. I'm not gonna lie, we didn't, and because I haven't really seen again. Movies are subjective, right? Movies are subjective. Movies in general, like if I love a movie, she's not gonna love the same movies I do, right? Vice versa. So yeah, and even TV shows, etc. Right? Whatever. But here's the thing: I've never liked a movie with Cynthia Erivo, like just because I just didn't think it was good casting. But at the end of the day, I could see why. Maybe she did great on the audition film and everything, and then of course, the chemistry between her and Ariana Grande on the singing notes, that's the major thing we're worried about, especially the song Defying Gravity, where
I'd never heard her sing, and personally I haven't seen really anything that she's come out. Like I didn't see the Harriet Tubman movie, so
I was more worried on we were more worried on Cynthia Erivo.
Because I've never seen her act, I've never seen heard her sing, so I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know how they were going to harmonize their chemistry on set together, because they are the two, means they have to carry the movie. So I was super worried, but again, it was just more because I didn't know anything about her. Ariana Grande too. Like we haven't seen her act in a long time,
but she killed it.
I know she has the range. She did Glinda. She's fine.
She, as far as the acting, she killed it. She kept me entertained. She kept me laughing. This is no case of comedy, but oh my god, if it was
the play is they have.
I mean, but it just I was worried that how is it gonna transcript over to film, because you can't really hit the same
it's again, both of them, it just looks so effortless, and they had such great chemistry together, and
Ariana Grande really did say on the press junket, because we saw that, was like she was even saying I always wanted to play Glinda, and I want to pay homage to Kristen Chenoweth. And so she really wants to pay homage to that, and just to pay homage to the character itself. But even she even said that, oh yeah, I'm excited to see a new form of Glinda. So it was handled very subtle in a very positive way, and I love that. I really do. I love that.
But again, I loved them two as the leads, and I really liked the other cast too. Madame Morrible was played by, I think, Michelle Yeoh. And then also Jeff Goldblum was the wizard.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum was good.
Those were two parts I was really excited about, because Jeff Goldblum is really cool.
He's already funny enough.
He's so funny. He's cool.
Dr. Malcolm.
I was like, you know what? Believable wizard. All right, cool. Casting was great. And then Michelle, she's done phenomenal in anything that John M. Chu's done. He did Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes.
Fantastic. I know she's done Everything Everywhere All at Once. Fantastic. Shang-Chi. Anything she's in, she kills it. So I was super excited to see her play this character. And the cast was great. Again, I can't stress enough how good the costumes were, the dancing was, the choreography, the singing, the songs were great.
It just felt like
a little remastered, a little bit, just subtly, but it was great. It was
the sound was fantastic. I thought the sounding of the whole aspiration of just like the music, not just the music, just everything else, especially the the sound of the stage, like it felt like it sucked you in, and it felt like you were at a Broadway musical, and I love that.
I am curious though how people who have never seen the play, never heard the music, don't know the story, I'm really curious to see how that's going to be receptive to that kind of audience, because I know a lot of people who are fans of the play are really excited to see this. So I'm very curious to see someone who hasn't read the book, hasn't heard the music. I just really want to know their first reactions too. If they love the music, if that makes them love the story.
Adriana, my sister, she didn't see the music,
but she's heard the songs.
She's
heard some of the songs. So I'm very curious to see if you're going in this blind, you don't know what it's about.
Let us know comments down below.
Let us know. I'm really curious to see how people are
new fans, new age.
Fans are gonna see it. So I really hope people love it as much as we did. It was a stellar movie, and I just cannot speak high enough. Like, it was one of my highly anticipated movies of this year, and it exceeded expectations exponentially. Like, it was so great.
All right, was this a film we deserve to say hell yes it was? Rating 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest. When you give this rating, Angela?
That's a hard one, because as much as I loved it, there was I didn't love the ending.
Yeah, we'll talk about there's on the Defying Gravity song. We're not going to talk about like don't say where it's at, but at the Defying Gravity song, there's a point where again, we're not going to spoil it for you, but there's a point where the CGI gets a little buffered a little bit, and you could tell because it just seems I didn't like how the formation they did it, because it was kind of different formation that the other songs were, and you guys will know once you're flowing it. It's almost like you're pausing it, then you're playing it again, then you're pausing it, and I understood that why, but for me it was just CGI as well. I agree with you. The CGI was very
and that was only the reason why I didn't like it. The way they chose
the ending CGI
to edit it, the CGI and the ending, the last song, I wasn't completely in love with it.
Yeah,
still love the song, but just the CGI was a little distracting for me. So aside from that, everything else about the movie, all the other songs were perfect. Everything was great. So I will give it a solid 9.5 because it was a phenomenal movie. And I know not everyone's going to agree with me.
Wow.
But it was such a moving movie for me. Like, it really was. It was right up there. Nearly perfect. Okay. I don't know if any film would be perfect for me, but it definitely deserves
it's almost there, yeah. No, I mean, shoot. So I'm going to go a solid 9.3. I'm so close at that 9.5. It's such a grand time, especially because again, it's been in the works, right? Even before I even said it, I heard people saying, "Oh, they've been trying to make this movie for like 10 years or so," and it's finally here. I'm alive for it. I'm glad I'm alive for it, because it was definitely a musical that I really wanted to become a movie. Because everything else has been pretty much movie based. Mean Girls, we saw Mean Girls come to Broadway. That wasn't as grand as I thought. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, again, we go back to where Mean Girls was the original film, and then they made it into a musical. Then that musical became another movie, which didn't work, whatever. But needless to say, though, you still have the original art piece of the Broadway, or you have the original film. And that's the thing, too, what I always encourage moviegoers out there, and when I encourage Broadway people as well, is that if you think the movie sucks, you still have the original play. Go back and watch that. Same thing with remakes. We talk about this all the time here at the studio. It's like, when it comes to remakes, retouching up pop culture films or pop culture adaptations, they really it's really, in the end of the day, it's like you still have, if you love the remake, love it, and then if you love the original, if you love them equally, then there you got two pieces of art from two different people playing the same characters, giving a different formality, maybe different groundbreaking formation of that character arc. And I just and I gotta admit though, like Ariana Grande, like she was I was giggling. I can't wait. We're gonna see this again coming this week, and I'm gonna be giggling, laughing at the same time. It's just like, oh my gosh, like it makes me think, like, what if she actually keeps acting? I know she doesn't need to. She doesn't have to, of course, but it gets me intrigued to where, like, maybe she can reach that Oscar level potential.
Yeah, like, I'm curious to see, what the future is for both Ariana and Cynthia.
Yeah, and Cynthia,
because, they could continue to do other projects. Like Ariana Grande, I know she's done her music. She's done so many records. She kills it every time it comes. Very popular name, but maybe she will decide to do more acting. And same thing with Cynthia. Like, I wonder to see if she wants to do more movies, or maybe she wants to transition to Broadway too. Like,
you never know.
That's something a lot of people do, and I would love to see both of them succeed wherever they take. Exactly. And I want to see more works from both of them, because they have proven that they could do so much, and it's just crazy how talented they are, and how it showed in this movie.
And I can't wait for part 2. It sucks we have to wait another year though.
I'll be patient, but I can't wait, because I think the music in part 2 is gonna be so much better.
Here's the reason. They filmed it all together at once, and I feel like that the reason why they're doing a part 2 is because they wanted to take their time with part 1, put in that genuine work, and not rush it. John Chu is a great, good director. He's done a lot of the famous musicals and everything, Crazy Rich Asians to In the Heights and stuff like that. So I have my faith in him. And after watching this part 1, I was like, what if it's not good and no one wants to go see part 2? So then they're gonna have to retake all that back. But Universal Studios had
part 2.
No, I understand that, but Universal Studios had their faith in the studios, and that's what I love about movie makers. When it comes down to, at the end of the day, is that studios need to trust the directors. Maybe not all the time. Don't give them free reign, right? Like Joker Full of Dirt, but give them some type of lineage to where, like, hey, this is good. Let's keep that momentum going. And they went head on with the merchandise. They went head on with everything. And I gotta admit though, here's another thing we got to talk about, because it's the elephant in the room. We'll end the review, guys, just after this topic real quick. And you know what I'm gonna mention? A comment that the fans a while back, the fans made there was a new poster that came out that was mimicking the original Wicked poster of the Broadway musical and the Broadway tour and everything. It's of course Elphaba, where she has her black the black hat, and it's covering up her eyes, and Galinda's kind of whispering something in her ear. The famous art piece that everyone knows, that this is way before they were even born and everything. We were even born, so it's like this musical's been happening for such a long time. So there's this comment that Cynthia made on Instagram, and again, this is why I believe people anyone that's in the public eye, I feel like you need a PR person at your disposal almost all the time because of Instagram, of social media, how social media is so fast and everything, right?
Yes,
but
that's true.
Yeah, at least just say, hey, is this okay to say? Or just have a moderator. I don't know. It's whatever.
We all know that celebrities are held under a microscope when it comes to social media, because everyone cares what your favorite celebrity says,
or opinion of a movie, especially if it's your film. You know what I'm saying?
So everyone is always looking at celebrities all the time. Even things that they said in the past get brought up. You're always under public eye, public scrutiny. People are looking for ways to be mad at you, and I feel like with that drama that came out with the poster, the fan editing it to make it look more like the original Broadway poster, that came out at a really bad time. I really hope it doesn't deter people from seeing it. She
said, quote unquote, "Those are not my ears." And you can't. I'm a person. I'm a real person. And so pretty much saying comments like that, and to a certain degree, it's very. It's almost, she was making it more political than it needs to be, in my opinion. And again, we go back to where these are just characters; they're not real. And I get what she was implying, but it's not like the fans came together to really get inspired and were like, oh, let me make this a little bit. They weren't blocking you out. They weren't blocking this person out. They were just mimicking the fan art, the original wig. That's what is so shocking to me, because I'm just like, why in the F are you going to do something like that? It don't make any sense. You're really hurting the film in the end of the day, because this movie is magical. It's so amazing. Magical. And I'm just like, why did you say that? This movie speaks for itself. Let the movie speak for itself. Mm-hmm. You don't let those other people bring you down and everything. Because let the movie breathe.
The story does have a lot of powerful messages and meanings. Yeah. And it's,
everyone's
such a
different.
great
Everyone looks
story
different
to hear. Yeah, people are essentially afraid of her because of her skin color. She's green. They don't know what she's capable of. And they instantly go to fearing a common enemy. Mm-hmm. And so it's very powerful themes that are in the film. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I really hope that the drama that was surrounding it in the weeks before, I really hope it doesn't deter people from seeing it, because this movie deserves to be seen in theaters, to be celebrated. There's a lot of hard work that went into this, and to make it the way it came out, I think, did such a great job in paying homage to the play. So I really hope people do still go and support it. It is a really well done film, and I really hope people really get to enjoy it the same way we did.
Yeah, no, exactly. And of course, you can't really show her real ears, because her real ears actually have a lot of piercings all over them. So it's kind of and they actually explained that more so in the news article that they released. It was they had to do 4 hours of the paint and then another more hours covering up all the because it's a character she's playing, just like any character.
Takes a while, yeah.
Look at Penguin. I mean, there's so many different so many different scenarios where actors want to play a certain character and they have to look like the character, at least similar features, right? Same thing with this makes no difference. This makes no change here. So I'm gonna leave that up to you guys, but I have to address that because of the fact that I'm just like, why did you do that? It was fan arts that were so inspired by seeing this masterpiece Wicked on the Broadway musical, on the Broadway show, and fans of the show just wanted to mimic you into that original fan art. And again, we go back to where it don't make any sense. I don't see it. Maybe she sees something we don't, but I'm going to leave it at that. Leave the questions up to you guys. I'll leave the answers up to you guys. Put comments down below. Were you agreeing that or not? But I did want to address that because that's one of the major things that's coming up along with this movie. But needless to say, though, I still had a grand time in this movie, and this popcorn bucket that we got from Regal is so spectacular.
Thankful we got it. I know they're gonna sell out in Regal
Yeah.
theaters. So if you have a Regal near you, definitely go check it out.
Check
they
it
have
out.
a lot of cool merchandise.
Yeah. And once again, guys, put in comments down below. What did you guys think of Wicked Part 1? Let me know in comments down below. Of course, no spoilers. And thank you so much for tuning in for our movie talk, our movie review, guys. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. aka Ryan680.
I am Angela Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. See you at the movies. And do not forget, subscribe. Laters.